Hello everyone, this is the news, and tonight we have a special guest, Cadence Rutherford. Alright, Cadence, so I hear you are graduating, is that correct?
Yes, I'm graduating in August.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What day are you graduating in August?
I don't know.
What year?
This year, 2022.
Yeah. Alright, so I know you're graduating. How are you feeling about graduation approaching?
Well, it's a new chapter of life. Finals are stressful, and the summer's going to be stressful when I transition from doing classes to like getting my actual job at the hospital.
Yeah. And if you are a normal person, you should not be stressed in the summer. Okay, so I understand your feelings about graduation. How about what do you do currently and where do you work?
I am a lab tech at the NEA clinic on Hilltop.
So how long have you been working at the clinic?
I've been working there for 1 year.
That can be tough. Like whenever you're like working and then you have to leave after you like know everyone. So what, like in your profession, what do you do as a lab tech?
Ideally, I would work in the hospital lab. So basically in the lab, we run any tests on body fluids, such as blood or urine. And we have 4 main areas in the lab. We have a chemistry, a microbiology, a blood bank, and hematology. And we can diagnose cancers. We can give you a blood transfusion. We can figure out what bacteria is in your wounds, like a wound culture.
A lot of stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Sounds pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
You obviously have things that you like about your job, or there are things that you might possibly not like as much?
Well, I currently at the clinic, I like the fact that I get to communicate so closely with physicians, and I've learned a lot from that, from like doing that. And I'm kind of sad about leaving to the hospital where I don't communicate as much one-on-one with them to try to figure out a patient diagnosis.
Nice. All right, well, that was very interesting to hear, about what you pretty much do for a living right now. After you graduate, what would you say is your main goal?
I want to move to the hospital through the company that I'm with now. But in the future, I've been interested in specializing in a lab area or to do travel, maybe even teach. I don't know. Just depends.
Teaching's fun.
Depends on where it takes me.
I found everything that you said being a lab tech was pretty interesting. One thing I want to know is why did you end up choosing to major in clinical lab science?
In high school, I wanted to do pharmacy. I wanted to go to med school and be a pharmacist. And I really stuck to that. I bought materials to get me there. I did a lot of research, and because of my research, it put me in a position where I no longer wanted to do it. So basically, the pharmacy field is too saturated. There's not any jobs. And I had seen several pharmacists talking about how hard it was for them to get a job, how overworked and underpaid they were. I decided I want to switch my major, but I didn't know to what. And I was not interested in pre-med at all at the time. So I knew I wanted to work in the medical field. And so for a minute, I thought about sticking with the pharmacy thing because I thought maybe I could do a research part of that career. So I wanted to do lab work essentially. So I switched my major to chemistry. That was quickly a mistake. Did not want to take any of those classes. So I then looked at every degree that A-State offered. And at the very bottom of the list with like the least amount of graduates from that major, I saw clinical lab science. And I was like, that literally sounds like exactly that I would feel like I wanted to do. So I changed my major to it. And at the time I was still a freshman, it was like only October of my freshman year. So it was very quick. I wasn't like just changing around like chaotically. So then somebody told me that I had to do phlebotomy to...
And I still don't know what that is.
That's where you draw blood, Jonathan.
Okay, now I know what it is.
I had to do phlebotomy, and that kind of terrified me. I never thought I could like stick somebody with a needle, but I decided like that was like the one thing that I had to do. Otherwise I'd have to change my entire major, and I had no idea what I would want to have done at the time. So I was like, I just have to do that one thing. So then when my sophomore year came around, I finally had to go take the class. And I was like excited for it, but I was dreading it because I really thought I was gonna not want to do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So then it finally came down after a few weeks of being in the class down to actually drawing somebody's blood. And I remember who it was, and I did it successfully the first time, which was a good thing because if I had failed, I would have like cried and like went home and changed my major.
That quick.
Yeah, and so I remember like holding the needle, and I was like, I just have to do it.
Wait, did you do it other classmates? Like just taking
Yes, it was a classmate.
Oh heck no.
So I was like holding it to her arm, and I literally was like telling myself in my head, you just have to do it. You have to just do it.
Did you have a visible thing?
Yeah, it was like pretty easy. So I did it, and I got it, and then like it was fine. I had made like a rookie mistake. Like I'd accidentally pulled it out and she bled, but like that was fine. That for my first stick, at least I got it. I didn't hurt her. I didn't like, stick her with a dirty needle or something crazy. So,
Because that would be bad.
yeah.
Everything you've done, I know that you like have been a part of music for a long time as well.
Yeah.
So have you ever thought like compared to like if you wanted to take the music route or this clinical lab science route, and what were your thoughts on that?
So, I don't think my parents expected me to go into music, which I think my parents are band directors. And they didn't really like convince me to because I think they knew like that it was a hard career and it didn't pay a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At least not enough for like all the work that you guys put in for it. I wasn't really motivated to be a teacher. I thought if anything, if I went into music, that I would join like the military and like work my way up from there. Because I also dreaded the thought of like taking oral theory. I didn't want to take music theory. That sounded horrifying. I don't know. I was a good player. I just felt like I wasn't a good like musician in general because I didn't really care to know all that stuff. I just wanted to sound good, and that was it.
Pretty valid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing about how your parents are band directors, do you have like any family whatsoever like in the medical field?
I do not. I mean, I have a grandpa who recently became a paramedic like later in life, and then I have another uncle that is an EMT or paramedic.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know enough about that to like really understand what going into the medical field was going to bring to me. So it's definitely been interesting, and I feel kind of isolated in my family because I feel like they don't understand what I'm doing, and it's hard to talk about because normal people don't understand like the stuff that we do in the medical field if you don't have anybody around you that's also in the medical field.
So does that mean you're calling me a normal person?
Yeah, you're a normal person. You're just average. Sorry.
Did you participate in any other activities in college outside of your CLS program?
Yes, I'm actually in the A-State Athletic Marching Band, and I believe you're in there too, if I'm not mistaken.
I am.
Are y'all in there too?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We're all trumpet players, so we're all toxic. Okay,
No.
Next question.
Oh, heck no.
We have the biggest ego. Trumpet players are known for our ego, and I know that my ego is toxic.
Yeah, she's
very toxic.
I was in the A-State Band. It's kind of sad to say that I was in there. I guess leading off of that, being in the A-State Band on a scholarship also required me to be in a concert band in the spring. So I was in the concert band with Dr. Riley, and we had our last concert ever
for you.
Like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So that was very strange for me to have thought about how many hours a day I was putting in on the trumpet back in high school, and now it's like I never will play it again, I kind of actually recently did something. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone.
Okay, what did you do?
I signed up for the next cycle for the Jonesboro Community Wind Ensemble.
So I'm
gonna play again. I'm gonna play another concert.
I didn't know you were doing that.
I'm gonna do a Memorial Day concert. But I did it because I'm I don't know, this would be something that my parents would have forced me to do when I was in high school. And now I'm kind of like sad that I'm like not playing anymore. So I'm gonna like join their next concert cycle because I am like available all the dates and see how that is. And then if I want to play later, depending on my schedule, I can join more concert cycles. It'd be an opportunity to continue to use my talent because I wasn't mediocre. I was good.
There's that toxicity coming in, guys. Pound it. Does your back hurt?
What?
Does your back hurt? You know,
From like marching, like
no.
sometimes.
From carrying the weight of the team on your back.
Yeah, because I mean, I think like really 3 people were slacking. Never mind. I had to pick up the weight of others.
Hey, don't talk about yourself like that.
Yeah, that is very toxicating. I just want to know, like, you know, kind of more your backstory, like, you know, where you grew up.
I lived in Russellville for a long time. Probably went to like daycare there and stuff. And then I went to Danville Elementary School, I guess. In Danville, Arkansas, we would commute there because my mom was a band director there. And I went there until about 5th grade. And then I moved to Paris, Arkansas.
Paris?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you see the Eiffel Tower?
They have one.
Are you serious?
It's a mini waterfall Eiffel Tower.
I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool.
We were bougie.
Paris has an Eiffel Tower in Arkansas.
And then 2 years later, both of my parents got a job in the same town, so they decided to move all the way down to southern Arkansas in DeWitt, Arkansas.
DeWitt?
Yeah.
Can you just say it one more time? I think it's funny.
I say DeWitt. People from there say DeWitt.
DeWitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go drive to DeWitt.
In between that, I lived like in Fort Smith over the summer, and then one other year I lived in Bentonville over a different summer.
Okay, you see, I live close to Bentonville. You don't say Bentonville. It's Bentonville, guys.
Bentonville.
Yeah.
I like the Northwest Arkansas area the best in the state, so I kind of want to move back there one day, like within the next like 5 years.
Dude,
probably.
you're gonna literally live 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah, that's my plan. We're gonna be besties and neighbors, and you're gonna mow my lawn.
You grew up, you know, a lot of places throughout your life, moving back and forth in between the state. You know, a lot of different schools, or I assume you've been to a lot of different schools. What do you have to say about that?
I feel like just moving in Arkansas, like from one point to the other, like just 3 or 4 hours away from each other, there's a huge cultural like difference. There was a different religion, like I was Catholic, and when I went down there, like nobody was Catholic, but a lot of people in Northwest Arkansas are Catholic. Like I went to Danville, which was mostly like a Hispanic populated town. I learned a lot about their culture. And then I went to DeWitt, which was very like agricultural, very heavy in agriculture. Or like in Northwest Arkansas, like deer hunting is talked about like really big.
Oh, yeah.
But in southern Arkansas, like duck hunting is like 10 times more important than deer hunting.
Through, you know, all of the schools that you've been to, what subject would you say that you've liked the most?
I always did like science the most, and then for a while I had a love-hate relationship with math. I liked to be challenged. I mean, did you do calculus?
No.
I made an A in calculus. It was challenging and I could do it, but I had a love-hate relationship.
In math, I don't want to brag, but I've had like 100% math since I've been in school.
When?
So do you like reading?
I used to hate reading, and then recently I started reading books again. I read Pride and Prejudice for fun for the first time. I couldn't imagine reading something like that in high school because it was very hard for me to follow even at my comprehension level now. I was proud of myself for doing something like that. Did you read Junie B. Jones?
No. Why read when you can watch the movie?
Junie B. Jones, the movie?
Just want to know your thought process on why you chose A-State. You know, if you have all these other schools you could have gone to.
I was interested in Basically just 2 schools. It was either going to be Arkansas Tech University or Arkansas State University. The only reason I ended up even considering A-State was because I was dating a boy that went to. So I knew that could be a really big mistake, but also A-State offered me more money than Arkansas Tech did. So I was like, whatever, it's going to work out. I guess it worked out because I did end up marrying the boy that I followed. So not a horrible decision, didn't go that bad. And plus I found the CLS program there, and I can't imagine finding a CLS program like ours somewhere else. Like I can't imagine having a different team and different classmates.
Yeah, I moved here to be closer to Chase.
Really?
I was at UCA last year.
Pizza rolls!
All right, guys, that has been our podcast / newscast thingy. Hearing about, Candace Rutherford today, I think your life story is very moving, and I am intrigued. And, I think that was worth the time here today that we spent. Good job.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Have fun. Have a great day. God bless. Amen.
And that's all.